American democracy is under assault on separate fronts from President Trump and Russia, former U.S. intelligence chief James Clapper warned Sunday. In a broadcast interview, Clapper expressed dismay over the abrupt firing of FBI Director James Comey amid an investigation into Moscow's meddling in U.S. elections and possible ties with the Trump campaign. As Trump works to fast-track Comey's successor, lawmakers from both parties urged him to steer clear of any politicians for the job and say he must clean up the mess that he mostly created. "I think, in many ways, our institutions are under assault, both externally, and that's the big news here, is the Russian interference in our election system. I think as well our institutions are under assault internally," Clapper said on CNN's State of the Union. When he was asked, "Internally? From the president?" Clapper said, "Exactly." Clapper spoke following Trump's sudden firing of Comey last week, which drew sharp criticism because it came amid the FBI's investigation into Russia's interference in the 2016 presidential election. Clapper said America's founding fathers had created 3 equal branches of government with checks and balances, but with Trump as president, that was now eroding. The White House have no immediate comment. No White House aide appeared on the Sunday news shows, leaving Nikki Haley, the U.S. ambassador to the United Nations, to defend Trump. "The president is the CEO of the country. He can hire and fire whoever he wants," she said on ABC's This Week. Lawmakers from both parties reprimanded Trump's actions, which included shifting explanations from the White House for Comey's dismissal and an ominous tweet by Trump that warned Comey against leaks to the press because he may have tapes of their conversations. The lawmakers called for a new FBI director without any political background and said Trump would need to give Congress any taped conversations with Comey, if they exist. Republican Senator Lindsey Graham, a member of the Judiciary Committee, said selecting an FBI agent to lead the agency would allow the nation to reset. He dismissed as less desirable at least 2 of the 14 candidates under consideration by Trump, former Representative Mike Rogers of Michigan and Senator John Cornyn of Texas, explaining that these are not normal circumstances. Rogers, a former FBI agent and former chairman of the House Intelligence Committee, has drawn the backing of the FBI Agents Association. Cornyn is the number 2 Republican in the Senate. "It's now time to pick somebody who comes from within the ranks, or has such a reputation that has no political background at all that can go into the job on day one," said Graham, Republican of South Carolina. "The president has a chance to clean up the mess he mostly created," he said on NBC's Meet the Press, adding, "I have no evidence that the president colluded with the Russians at all. But we don't know all the evidence yet." Senator Mike Lee, a Republican from Utah, continued to argue that the president should consider Merrick Garland, the federal judge nominated to the Supreme Court last year by President Barack Obama. Lee said he was absolutely serious about it. A former top aide to Senator Mitch McConnell, Josh Holmes, said McConnell is interested in the suggestion. Senate Minority Leader Chuck Schumer of New York said the new FBI director should be someone not of partisan background with great experience and courage. Declining comment on a Garland nomination, Schumer left open the possibility that Democrats might withdraw support for a new FBI director unless the Justice Department names a special prosecutor. Under Senate rules, Republicans could still confirm an FBI director with 51 votes. Republicans hold 52 seats in the chamber to Democrats' 48. Less than a week after Trump fired Comey, the administration has interviewed at least 8 candidates to be FBI director, and Trump has said a decision could come before he leaves Friday on his first overseas trip as president. Former Director of National Intelligence James Clapper has accused Donald Trump of placing American democratic institutions under assault following the sacking of James Comey and cautioned that the former FBI director's removal is another victory for Russia. The forceful criticism comes as the Justice Department began screening candidates for Comey's replacement and Democrats' renewed calls for a special prosecutor to oversee an investigation into Russia's interference in the 2016 election. "I think in many ways our institutions are under assault," Clapper told CNN's State of the Union on Sunday. "Both externally, and that's the big news here, is Russian interference in our election system. And I think as well our institutions are under assault internally." When asked to clarify if the internal assault came from the president directly, the former spy chief added, "Exactly." In a later interview on ABC News, Clapper added that the Russians have to consider this, Comey's sacking, as another victory on the scoreboard for them. The bleak assessment came days after Trump claimed on Twitter that Clapper had determined there is no collusion with reference to his presidential campaign and Russia, a characterization that Clapper has refuted. The former National Intelligence Director, who served under the Obama administration from 2010 until Trump's inauguration, said during a March interview that he had no knowledge of any collusion between the Republicans' campaign and Russian operatives. He has since clarified that during his time in office he was also unaware of an FBI investigation into such collusion, adding on Sunday, "I don't know if there was collusion. And I don't know of any evidence to it, so I can't refute it and I can't confirm it." An NBC, Wall Street Journal poll released on Sunday found only 29% of Americans approved of Comey's firing, while 78% supported an independent commission or special prosecutor to investigate Russia's interference in the election. The result is likely to bolster Democrats as Senate Minority Leader Chuck Schumer renewed calls for a special prosecutor, and raised questions over whether U.S. Attorney General Jeff Sessions had violated the terms of his recusal from the Russia investigation by recommending the removal of Comey. Sessions recused himself after it emerged he had failed to disclose contacts between himself and Russian Ambassador Sergei Kislyak during the 2016 campaign. "The actions of the last week make all the more reason that he should not be Attorney General," Schumer told CNN on Sunday. Senate Democrats are discussing the possibility of blocking Trump's eventual nominee to replace Comey until a special prosecutor is appointed. Schumer on Sunday indicated he was supportive of such a move. Comey has rejected an invitation to testify in a closed-door Senate committee hearing next week, but has reportedly expressed a desire to testify in public at a later date. Clapper said on Sunday he had been in contact with the former FBI director by email, but declined to characterize the nature of their conversation. Comey has made no public comments since he was sacked on Tuesday, but was spotted on Saturday at a matinee performance of the Broadway musical Fun Home, which is currently on tour in Washington, D.C. On Saturday at least 8 candidates for the vacant position met with Sessions and Deputy Attorney General Rod Rosenstein at the Justice Department. The list included the acting FBI Director Andrew McCabe, Alice Fisher, a high-ranking Justice Department official in the George W. Bush administration, Texas Republican Senator John Cornyn, and former Republican Congressman Mike Rogers, who is also a former FBI agent. Rogers has won the endorsement of the FBI Agents Association, which represents 13,000 former and current agents and has ties to Trump's surrogate and former New York Mayor Rudy Giuliani. Trump told reporters on Air Force One on Saturday that he predicted the selection and nomination process is going to go quickly. "Almost all of them are very well known," Trump said before taking off for Lynchburg, Virginia, where he gave the commencement address at Liberty University. "They've been vetted over their lifetime essentially, but very well known, highly respected, really talented people. And that's what we want for the FBI." Schumer, on Sunday, argued that the eventual nominee should not be a partisan politician and should be someone with courage to stand up to attempted interference with the Russia investigation. Schumer's call was echoed by at least one Republican senator on Sunday, as Lindsey Graham told NBC's Meet the Press he believed the new FBI director should be someone who comes from within the ranks or has such a reputation that has no political backgrounds at all, that can go into the job on day one. Graham added of the ongoing investigation into Russia's interference in the election, the president needs to back off here and let the investigation go forward. Clarification: a previous version of this story said no White House aides were sent to appear on the Sunday political shows to defend Comey's firing. Fox News says that Kellyanne Conway was a guest on its Media Buzz program.